Hey guys, we're live on the moon. And old Bill's having a great time on a Saturday night. I've been fiddling around with this camera of mine, Logitech C910, and I've got it rigged up right now to where I have the moon. It's not a very good night, but I've got a lot of color on the moon, and I'm going to try to bring some of it out. I got a 18 millimeter lens in the camera right now, and what I'm going to do is do a quick pass with this 18 to kind of give you an idea where I'm going to go, and then I'm going to put that 5 on there, and I really want to see what I can do with this Logitech on the 5. The unique thing about this session, guys, and I know I'm experimenting with you guys, but you should be able to see that the results are better. This particular recording is being made at around 8 frames a second, and let me I'm trying to let me turn the contrast down just a little bit. I want to bring some of the color out, and I'm trying to emulate what Henning so magnificently did last night. He brought out an awful lot of color on the moon. And we're seeing it right now. It's a very cloudy, not very cloudy, I would call it a hazy night. There's a halo around the moon. I'm inside. I'm using a external microphone mounted on top of my monitor to pick up my voice. But the unique thing about this thing is I'm recording this directly into my big computer. My other computer just wasn't giving me enough oomph. Look at all the detail right there around the edge. We're going to have fun with that because we're going to go around there with the 5 millimeter in just a minute. And look at the color on the top of the moon. See that? Henning says it's green grass. Well, he didn't say grass, but he said it's vegetation. And nothing would surprise me. But the unique thing about this is I'm using the debut software. I bought another license for my my big machine. It's only like $29. Isn't that beautiful, guys? Let me just sit on that for a minute. That is absolutely stunning. And you have to realize that right now, for example, I have zoom on this. Let me zoom in. Let me kind of center the, well, I'll just zoom in center where it is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 levels of zoom. Absolutely amazing. And now let me turn autofocus on. You'll see it kind of jump in and out every once in a while. Well, I'll turn it off. Sometimes the atmospherics just play tricks with you. And I'm going to zoom back out. But that'll give you a really good idea what I can do with this particular 18 millimeter lens. And look at the color. I mean, absolutely stunning. Okay, and let me continue to go down because I want to put that 5 on there. But the unique thing about this is I'm recording directly from the Logitech camera into, look at that, unbelievable, unbelievable, into the directly into the Debut software program. Debut has a special feature that lets you look at that color. Let's sit on that for a minute, guys. You are looking at some of the greatest video of the moon I've ever seen. This camera is spectacular. Absolutely stunning. And since I have more oomph in my main machine, I'm able to record this at 8 frames a second, so it should be pretty smooth. Last night was pretty good. It was pretty cool to be able to record that Logitech software and just kind of sail on by. Well, the image quality, this image should be so much better than 720. This is 1080p. That's 1920 by 1080. That's the resolution. Okay, what I'm going to do, and the other thing I did different, like Henning, I took out the diagonal because I know the moon tonight. I wanted to bring out color, number one, and look at the color. Look at that. By the way, I have my color setting at it's just a little bit higher than 50. Let me drop it down. I'll take it all the way down, and now it's right at, I'll leave it right at 50. You never know how it's going to turn out until you watch it on the big screen, but you know, it looks pretty good on my monitor. And that's the other thing, the other downside to it is basically the monitor. And let me increase the brightness a little bit now. The monitor, I can't use the mouse with this the way it's set up, but I'm getting 8 frames a second at 1080p. That is incredible. Okay, guys, I'm going to put it on pause. We're going to change into the 5, and we're going to do a full survey of the moon with the 5 on a spooky moon on a Saturday night. Hang with me, guys. Okay, guys, it's pretty tough for a 5 right now. It's atmospherics are pretty bad, but I'm going to at least try. I think I'm going to go back and put in a maybe an 8. It should be better. That's the advantage of having a wide array of lenses, guys. You can easily change them out if the atmospherics is too tough for the. And you can see the waviness. See how it waves in and out. I do not have autofocus on right now because of that waviness. And I do have. Let's zoom in. I have 8 or 7 clicks of zoom. Well, let's wait until we get to the top. I know that you guys like to look at things real close. And so do I. Right now it's almost 9:30, and the moon is, like I say, it's got a haze to it. Now let's see if we can do something with this. I'll manually just fiddle with the focus. I don't think. And you can see the shadow line. That's that big crater right there, and that's the rim of that big crater at the top of the moon, which will be the bottom of the moon now that the way we're looking at it. Let's zoom in right here because there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's turn the exposure down. Brightness down. And I'll turn the color intensity down too. And let's see if we can see what that is sticking up in the air. See that thing sticking up in the air to the right of that crater? What in the hell is that? Looks like a tar of sorts. I mean, it's as clear as a bell of tar, guys. Let me see if I can... no, I've got the exposure where I can manually adjust it. I'll put it on auto. Let's turn the contrast. See what I'm looking at? Look at that big crater on the left side of the screen, the big crater. And if you look, let me turn autofocus on just for grins. I don't think it'll do any good because of this atmospherics I said are pretty bad. Well, it's trying to autofocus. See that thing to the immediate right? It's kind of sticking up in the air, and then above that it looks like it's a mushroom forest kind of thing. But there's something to the immediate right at the lower right-hand corner of that crater that's sticking up in the air. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to back out on the zoom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this would be a good place to change the lens. I want to put in that 8mm. See if we can get a clear picture with, you know, the higher the lens, the less jerkiness. It might come in clear. Hang with me, guys. We're just having fun on a tooling around on the moon with Bill on a Saturday night. Hang on. Okay, I'm back, and I put in an 8mm lens. I'm sitting at 8 frames a second. It's still pretty jumpy, though. Look at that. See how it's the atmospherics are so bad. And again, this is a real hazy moon, so it's not the best moon in the world to doing any kind of close-ups. But you can see what I'm trying. I'm going to put autofocus on. See, it did get in a little bit focus. You can see that thing sticking up in the air right to the right of that crater, and I'm going to try to zoom in on it. If you're wondering what I'm going to try, let me try to center it. Just so you, that's a disadvantage of this thing not having a mouse. Yeah, I'm trying to go down, guys, but it's going the wrong direction. Come on, guys. Oh, maybe. Well, let's just... Okay. We're going to go to the bottom of the moon. I was pushing the wrong button. See, I'm all confused. Let me explain something. I was recording last night with a diagonal in. That is a 90-degree adapter that flips the image and makes it to where basically it normally is. When you take the diagonal out, it flips it so it's upside down from what it is. So I'm pushing buttons in the opposite direction from what I think I should go. Okay, exactly centered is that thing sticking up in the air. And it clearly is sticking up in the air. I just don't know what it is. Okay, well, let's try one more. Let's do one more time. I'm going to go put the next larger lens in, and we'll see what we can see. So you get the magic number, and then at the right time, and then it stops shaking around. Hang with me, guys. We're going to change lenses. This is what astronomy is all about with the telescope. You just kind of mess around with lenses on the telescope and everything. Well, that's what you can do with this camera the way I have it set up. Hang with me, guys. Okay, guys. I got autofocus on. You can see it's still jumping around, but it is more stable than... let me turn autofocus off. Just, you know, it's a bad hair night for close-ups on the moon. I think this is a 11 millimeter lens, and you can see the clouds kind of coming in. Let's do this. This lens, by the way, is probably the worst on zoom. I got it max zoom, and if I go too far back, then I lose the. Let's do this. Let's go one more. Let's try the full range almost. I'll try that one more, the 15 millimeter lens, just for grin, since we're trying lenses. Trying lenses on a Saturday night with Bill. Hang with me, one more lens, guys. Okay, guys, the lens I had in just before this was a 12, and this is a 15. And it's better. You can see how it changed, though. I went from I think a 5 to an 8 to an 11 to a 15, and the 5 was the shakiest. The 8 was a little bit better, and then the 15's, you know, almost not too bad, but you could still see it jumping. What I want to do, I think that we were having such a good view of the moon in color on that 18. I'm going to just continue this survey to the bottom around the circumference, and then when I get to a point, then I'll change out, and we'll do put that that one lens back in, that 18. I've never had a telescope where I had, with this camera, you know, you just have a lot of control, and you can do I'm going to turn the contrast up a little bit to just to bring out some of the and there is Plato centered, exactly centered. Every time I do one of these, I'm just anxious to see what it looks like, and especially when I've been messing around with this 1080p, I really think it makes a difference on the quality of the. Isn't that beautiful? Let me work that image just a minute. Sometimes I see something that I think in my mind is beautiful, and I need to kind of fiddle with it. I'm going to change the contrast up just a dab. Brightness down. Exposure up. Contrast up. Brightness down. trying to enunciate some of these lines coming out. And now if I turn the exposure up too much, you can see the lines on that crater at the very top, the big one at the top. See the lines, how they come out? I just think that's so cool. I really do. And you know, see the clouds. At least with this camera, the way it's being run now, it's 8 frames a second, so you should be able to see the clouds coming in. We'll turn auto on again and turn the brightness up. This is a complicated camera. There's a lot of controls you got to learn how to use properly. Nine frames a second, that's not bad. And just for grins, autofocus on. See how it jumps in and out. Descartes. And I know there's a lot of color around that. Let's just see what we can do with that. Brightness down, contrast up, exposure up, well, it's a cloudy night, guys. It's a cloudy night, and I think it's affecting the yeah, see the I'm going to leave it. Let me hit the defaults. So if I hit the defaults, it doesn't enunciate the right things. Turn the brightness down. Turn the game contrast up. Turn the color up. And so you can see the details that you. And look at as Henning says, that atmosphere is kind of bluish. But that's a good one. And let me turn autofocus on right now. That's a beautiful picture, guys. But see, it took a little bit of fiddling around. If you took the defaults out of the box, you wouldn't even know it was there. You got to really spend some time fiddling with it. And the only way you're going to do it, quite frankly, is to learn how to use the camera. I'll give you an example right here. See how bright it is right down there? Now, the easiest way to bring that out without messing with any of the other controls is make sure the right light is off, and then auto is off, and then just drop the exposure down just a little bit, and see you can bring out some of the details. And that's the mothership runway. And keep in mind, last night it was on the top of the moon. Well, that's where it is, but see, we don't have that diagonal, so now it appears on the bottom. But we are getting a better image, a more contrasty image with less optics between it and the moon. Okay, I'm going to finish this up if I can go in the right direction. I'm going to put it on pause and correct it and put that other lens in, and we're going to finish this one up. Okay, guys, I've got the same lens that I started with, the 18 millimeter. And if you look exactly centered on the screen is Crystal Lake complex. I do have a focus. I'm going to on automatic right now, and I am trying to bring out the colors. You can see how it's very stable now. See, the closer you get, the more jumpy it is tonight. Some nights are crystal clear, but tonight it's got atmospherics, and you can see the at the edge of the moon that the very interesting haze. Now let me zoom in on the Crystal Lake area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 levels of zoom. Absolutely incredible with this 18 millimeter lens. And if you look at that that large crater in the upper left quadrant, directly below that is what I think a complex. Let me turn the autofocus off because it jumps in and out, and just manually zoom it. I don't know what it is. It looks like a building structures. And let me turn the brightness up. So when you turn the brightness out, you wash out the colors, but the way you get around that is you turn the exposure up, and then you can still see the contrast. Henning was remarking last night how he thought maybe these were deep pits or something like that. I don't know what they are. See the clouds coming in? I do know that when you look at Crystal Lake and you look at, it looks like there's something. It's like it's made out of crystal or something, and you can see right into it. And there's lights down there. I think they're tires and they're lights, just like Henning does. I think that the moon is teeming with life, no doubt about it. I really do. And when you look at that Crystal Lake, it just makes you wonder what in the hell it is. And if you think it's sand, I mean, it can't be sand. You can see through it. You can see layers upon layers of things below it. Just like on the cloud here, you can see, the clouds floating over the surface. Well, you can see, if you look at Crystal Lake, you can see lights kind of on the top, and then lights below the surface that are dimmer, and then you can see structures below that. It's really just weird. Okay, enough melodrama. Okay, let's in this very bright. See, I got to turn the exposure all the way down to bring any of the details out at all. And then of this real bright crater, and then when I do, other areas go dim. See, that's okay. Just the way it is on the moon. I'm not using the label mic like I was. And see, let me show you, if I hit defaults. Oh, that's a tunnel. I got to get rid of that tunnel. There you go. If you go to defaults, you can see, but then you lose the, like, I'll turn the color up, Then I'll turn the contrast up just a bit. See how it enunciates things. Then I'll turn the brightness down just a bit. See how it brings out. And you can turn the auto off, and then turn the exposure up a little bit. You see how you have a lot of control over it. It makes it look prettier, and I think it's just bringing out some of the color that's on the moon. Interesting moon tonight, guys. Mike has some kids, and we were going to get together and do the moon, kind of like a moon party over at his place, but we ended up the weather. I mean, it was cloudy, and we just thought it was going to be cloudy, and went to a movie together, and then here about an hour after I got back from the movie, it started clearing up again. So that's just the way the weather is. You just never know what's going to happen. Look at all the color up there. Amazing moon. Okay, that's a good spot to quit. I don't like these to be too long. I'm very anxious to see what quality that I have. Again, this was a 1080p high definition movie at 8 to 15 frames a second. It should have been smoother than normal. But all things considered, with the moon the way it was, you saw as I got with the lenses, it was jumping around with atmospherics. That had nothing to do with the there, I turned autofocus off. That has nothing to do with the camera. I think the camera is a superb camera. Okay, guys, that's it. I wish for you and yours clear skies, guys.